we used to do a bunch of shows, and I remember that back in the old days, right? Back when in the era when the in the era when the CDs were the way music was consumed by people, right? In those times, we had places where we mastered the distributions, and usually it was in Europe. So we had like the networks of Fnacs and Virgin mega stores in France were the places where we would sell a lot of CDs. Then we would have all the mom and pop stores, for African stores, West Indies stores, Cape Virgin stores, small stores that would buy us 10 copies, 20 copies, and as soon as they sell them, they would come back and buy a little bit more and pay, right? And so we had like France, Belgium, Switzerland, Rotterdam. We had the Cape Virgin stores in Rotterdam, Amsterdam, and yeah, a lot of DJs would come. People from places, they would come get maybe 500 CDs from us, from 10 Sumia, 10 Kaysha, 10 Eligio, Princess Lover, everything. And then they would go back to the cities. Come in Portugal, same thing. We had DJ Beleza who would do that here in Portugal. And so when it comes to Europe, the market was more or less, we knew exactly, like when you had a good album, you would sell 2,000, 3,000 copies in Portugal, 10,000, 15,000 copies in France, X amount of copy in Belgium. Actually, Olivier, who was there, was selling he was taking my CDs and selling them in Matonge in Brussels, selling them in the stores in Lille. So we had a little network of people who would sell the CDs. But I realized that every time I would go to Africa, people would tell me all the time, "Hey, there's no CD. Like, did you bring CDs?" And I was like, "Bring CDs? No, I came to do a show." And people were like, "Nah, but it would be great if you brought some CDs." And I was like, "What? Oh." So in 2005, I go to Angola to do a show. And once I'm there, they ask me if I brought some CDs. And I'm like, "Yeah, I brought 300. No. They asked me if I was bringing CDs in my suitcase. And I said, "Yeah, I'm bringing 50 CDs. And they were like, "Nah, can you bring 300 CDs? So that was when I released African Bohemian. So 2005, 2004, 5. And they're asking me, are you bringing CDs? I said, "Yeah." They told me, "Can you bring 500? I said, "I don't think this is entering my suitcase." "How much can you bring maximum?" I was like, "I don't know." They were like, "Can you bring 300 CDs? I was like, 300 CDs? But they were like, yeah, bring 300 CDs. People will buy your CDs before the show." And I was like, "That's crazy." I was like, isn't that too much? Because, sometimes I would go to a club, bring 4 or 5 CDs, sell them or give them to the crowd. But now that you're asking me to bring 300 CDs, that's a lot of space in the suitcase. But okay, I arrive in Angola with 300 CDs. We arrive in Benguela. The day before the show, they organize a autograph session where you buy the CD and I sign on it. And listen, they told me we will sell your CD $10 each or $12 each. We'll keep $2. We'll give you 10. And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's see." In my head, I was like, "Okay, we're gonna sell, I don't know." I was like, "We're gonna sell 50 CDs maybe, why not?" We arrive on the venue where we were doing the autograph sale, and there were 500 people all queuing to buy the CD, African Bohemian. And I only had 300 CD. So 200 people were pissed off after that. And I was like, oh my God, we sold everything. And I got $3,000 from selling those CD hand to hand and signing them one by one. It took the whole day. And everybody was screaming, please, we need more CDs, da, 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 da. And it was the first CD of the tour. I had 5 CDs to go. I had another 5 CD after that one. There were 6 shows. And I was like, wait a minute. And people were telling me, and Benguela is not it was one of the smallest city. You didn't even go to Rwanda yet. And actually, people were telling me in Rwanda, you could sell 5,000 CDs. That's $50,000. And I was like, oh my God, damn. So I ended up only selling 300 CDs and making $3,000. But I said to myself, what I'm going to start doing now is find a way to bring 1,000 CDs everywhere I go. So I would go with 1,000 CDs in Canada, in the US, and now every time I had a show, I would ask the people, do you want me to bring CDs that you can sell? Or do you want me to come with somebody who will sell my CDs after the show? So it became a business of merchandising. You could sell some CDs after the show, some sweatshirts, sushi roast, shada.com. Like you could sell all these things back in the days, because back in the days, it was not so easy to buy and sell stuff online. It was not something that people were used to do. And so I came up with an idea. That was, why don't we incorporate, so printing a CD, fabricating it in the it was, fabricating a CD cost you $2 or €2. One is the cost of the fabrication. Another €1 is what you pay to the collecting society. So with these $2, even if you sell your CD for $5 or even $3, you make money for every CD, right? So let's say you print 1,000 CDs, and every time, let's say you have 10 shows. In every show you do, you sell 100 CDs. You're gonna make, if you sell them at $3, you're gonna make a benefit of $1 per CD. So you're gonna make $1,000 from selling your 1,000 CDs. And if you sell them at 10, you're gonna make, etc., etc. But I came up with an idea, and at that time I was working with Section Zouk, and I came up with an idea. I was like, guys, why don't we tell promoters that whenever there's a show, they have to tell us how many people more or less they will have on coming to your show. 300 people, small club, 500, medium, maybe 1,000 people in clubs. But what if every time we do a show, the promoter has to buy the CDs directly? So let's say it costs so we already had stocks, right? But let's say if you have a club of 200 people or 300 people, you have to pay an extra $3 per person. So that's 300, that's 900 people extra to buy a stock of CDs from us. And from that stock of CD, you offer a CD to every person that comes to my show. And we do the same thing for Sumia, Elisio, ABG, plus like for all the artists that we have in our roster. Every time somebody hires them for a show, the people come and they get a free CD every time they come to the show. Of course, it's not as good as selling the CD for $10, but you still make $1 of benefit, and you know that you have 500 new people who have your CD and they know your songs. In 2, 3, 4, 5 years, for the brand of the artist, this is amazing, because whenever you go, you have people that know your songs, so they will ask you to come for more shows, etc., etc. So that was a strategy that I thought about. And interestingly, I got frustrated because people were scared of doing this strategy, scared of proposing this or imposing this to the promoters, or even doing this ourselves. Because I was like, yeah, but people, if I have a club of let's say I have a club with 1,000 people, I'm already paying the artist 2,000, for example, to come perform. I'm not gonna pay another 3,000 on top of the tickets, the plane tickets, or plane tickets and hotels, room. You come, your dancers, your managers. Like, I'm already paying maybe 3,000 or 3,005 to make you come. You're gonna make me add another 3,000 on top of that. Some clubs might refuse. So that's when I said, in this case, let's become partners with the clubs, and we co-organize the shows with them. And when they want to hire us to perform, we take care of maybe the hotels, we take care of the traveling, we take care of some things. And in exchange, they buy CDs. And in terms of taxation, in terms of accounting, that was even great, because we could then put in our books that we sold X amount of CDs. So imagine you're an artist and every show you do is in front of 1,000 people. And imagine that every time that you perform for that one person, that 1,000 people, they get 1,000 CDs. 1,000 CDs means that you can put in the accounting that you sold 1,000 CDs. You can remove this from your benefit. You can put it as like, and in terms of national sales, if you do 3 shows in 1 week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and every time you have 1,000 people, it means you sold 3,000 CDs. It means that after 50 shows, you sell 50,000 CDs. And now you can have a plaque in France. 50,000 CDs was, I think, silver. I think it was silver or gold. No, I think it was gold. And now you can say, hey, I have a gold record because I sold 50,000 copies. If you add, let's say you sell 20,000 copies from the normal people, I mean in the stores, plus you sell in a whole year, let's say you do 70 shows in a whole year, or 2 years, and now you have 100,000 CDs. So you are platinum in France. In France, platinum is 100,000. So you could now have a business model where you are creating sales without having to have stores. And on the top of that, you have stores. And on the top of that, a club can come and as a promotion can say, hey, if you come to Kaysha's show, we're going to offer you a CD of Kaysha. And to me, that was a brilliant strategy. And you know what people told me? No, I don't know. I've been modest, what up? I don't know. Maybe, or whatever. Maybe the club will not accept. Or maybe, I was like, guys, if you don't ask the clubs, you will not know if they want to do it or not. We have to try. And I had to do that thing myself for my shows. but it was a harder organization because I had to take the CDs myself with my bag. And like when I would go to immigration in immigration in Canada or in the US, they would ask me, hey, why are you coming with 1,000 CDs? Lucky for me, because those are big countries, I would tell them, yeah, it's promotional stuff for radio. I'm not trying to sell them. I'm gonna give them to the radio. And 1,000 CDs offered is not something crazy in the US. If not, I would have been thrown in jail for trying to sell goods. So it was this thing where it felt frustrating because I had those ideas for the company, but most people, they would not believe in those ideas. All right, so to me, I was like, you know what? Okay. And what I want to talk about to you is the percentage of the people who get in a situation of getting percentage from selling your shows. And those people, guys like me, we complicate their business because all they want to do is while you are hot, they take a percentage where they sell your show. Let's say you're a hot artist, you sell your show for 1,005, they take 500 for every show. If you do 4 shows a month, you make 4,000, they do 4,000. It's enough for them. Perfect. But for somebody like me, it's not enough because I'm thinking about our business as a whole and I'm thinking way up there in front. And for me, I'm like, yo, if I can say that I'm a platinum artist for my 5 CDs just by performing, and every time I do a show, I sell another 2, 3, 4,000 CDs, depending on where I go. When I go to Angola and I have a show with 20,000 people, imagine if I tell the promoters directly, okay, you want me to come to your country? So you're going to have to buy me 10,000 CDs at $5 a piece. And those CDs, you have to give them to the people. And you start doing a business with the promoters. Imagine when you go in some shows where you have 30,000 people. Those people, they go get a sponsor. They ask the sponsor to buy those CD for them. So now let's say for $5 each, I sell for a show of 10,000 people in Angola. Then the next week I have a show of 10,000 people in Mozambique. And then the next week I have another 10,000 people, I don't know, back in Angola in another place. And then I have another one in another city in Mozambique, for example. That's 40,000 people. These are stuff that I used to do every week back then. Now 40,000 people, let's multiply. 40,000 people multiply by 40,000 CDs at $5, that's 200,000. So you can make 200,000 from those people who will ask their sponsors to pay, and now those people can say, hey, for every person that buys a ticket, we'll get a free CD from Kaysha. So imagine now the sponsors pay for those CDs. You sell your ticket at $10, $20, $30. I don't know how much they would sell the ticket at that time, but let's say you sell your ticket at 30,000. But you can say, you can do a communication where you say, we are offering Kaysha's album for free for everybody that comes. When you enter the place, boom, you get a CD, and Kaysha will sign them for you. If you're lucky, will sign for a certain 100, whatever, or somebody who pays the extra, has the VIP tickets, will also spend an hour with Kaysha and sign your CDs and make a photo with you. Those are things that you can organize on top of everything else. And now imagine you can come and say, hey, I sold 200,000 CDs. And to me, I don't understand why I was giving people those ideas and people were scared to do it. And that's when I said to myself, I have to take I have to take the whole operation on my own hands, because I'm proposing to the people who they're like, why you want to disturb the operation? Everything is working fine. Why you want to invent those stuff? Let people buy CDs in the stores. And I was like, nah, listen, we have hundreds of thousands of fans and we still only sell 20,000 because a lot of people, they're gonna buy some people will buy the albums. The rest, they will just get a copy on the internet or whatever, or download it from wherever. If we offer them to you, you think we offer them to you, but actually we increase the price of the ticket of $3. Those $3, let's say the show is normally 10, you increase it to 15. And with those five, and because there's an artist coming, with those 5 you buy the CDs. There's so many ways where you can just, so everybody's thinking, oh my God, we have a free CD. Actually, they bought the CD for $5. Cost you, so instead of doing the CDs in France, where it's gonna cost you $2 per CD, you go do them in Belgium or maybe further. You can even go do them in China or somewhere where maybe it's gonna cost you 50 cents per CD to print, to do everything. And you don't have to do a full, I'm gonna show you the difference. Instead of printing a full CD like this with cover, CD, and then here a whole booklet with images and everything, that's gonna cost you. So because you have to pay the plastic, you have to pay the paper, you have to pay for every page here. So this one had 8 pages, and me, I was like, I wanted my CD to have a certain level, so I was like, I don't care. And look, this was pink. You have to pay for the color. You have to pay for the color, pink, etc. And then you also have to pay for and design the thing in the back, etc., etc. So all this was a way to print a CD. But if you do a CD like this one from my boy DJ Adema, if you do a CD like this, all you have to do is one plastic thing, put it inside of cellophane, and you put the CD in there, and there you go. It's just one simple. So let's say you go manufacture 100,000 of these ones in China. It's gonna cost you 20 cents, 20, 30, 50 cents per CD. So let's say now you do 100,000 copies multiplied by 0.20. It's gonna cost you 20,000 to do that. So now you pay 20,000 to have all these CD printed in China or somewhere, Romania, wherever, somewhere where it costs less money to print them. You have them shipped by container, and now you can put a ton of them, and you can even ship them in Africa, and they come before you. Before you come to the show, you ship them. They say, oh, how many people are you gonna have in your festival? Okay, listen, I went in Cape Verde to play in a festival called Estrela Festival. There was 64,000 people there. I could have sent a month before the festival, I could have sent 60 or 70,000 CDs and tell everybody, hey, listen, it's gonna cost you $3 per CD. $3 per CD, cost me 20 cents to do them. You're gonna buy me 100,000 CDs and you're gonna offer them to the people. And then because it was Strela was like, it's like a, I think, I'm not sure if Strela was part of the, it was a beer. So it was a beer. Like they had a lot of money to spend on those festivals. So if you tell them, hey, listen, to have Kaysha, you're gonna buy like 100,000 CDs at 300. They would spend that money to have me at that time. especially if they can do an operation where they offer it to everybody. Now everybody has your album. Now you're gonna have 100,000 kids who have your CDs in the hand. They will learn your music, and those people become fans forever because they got a CD for free. And all those people, next time you come, because they've been hearing your music in their house, next time you come, them in the house, 200 people show up for your next show, because boom, they're growing up learning your songs. So 10 years after, you have an enormous brand 10 years after, just because of those type of strategies that are not just monetary for the right now, it's for the tomorrow. And somebody who did that strategy at the time in Nigeria was P Square. P Square, they printed 1 million CDs in China, cost them 40 cents per CD or less, I don't remember, and they sold all their CDs for $1. But they sold 1 million of them in Angola. So that's $1 million. Cost you $500 to print, but you make $500 in the process. So a lot of those strategies, I was telling people, hey, we should do these things. And people were like, listen. So at a point, the problem with people is that when things are working, nobody wants to change nothing. The managers, they get 30%, 20% on your shows. They don't want to change nothing. You see what I mean? We are in the problematic of these genres. We are subgenres or niche genres where people they just want to do a nice song. Once they have a nice song, they're gonna do some shows for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. When the shows are starting to slow, they do a new song. Once they have a hit, they continue, and they believe that this is a career. No, this is survival. When you want to make it a career, and you want to make money that will be paid for you forever, so that you can be like me, having I'm on a holiday on that. Like when you can be at a thing where when you sleep, you make you sleep and you don't do nothing, you get 100 euros or 200 euros. To do that, it's another strategy that you have to apply. You have to start thinking exactly of your moves. And at a point, I got tired because most people were not understanding those business models. Let me see if you're still here, put me some unicorns in the chat. Let me see what you're saying. The business model of incorporating CDs in performing contracts is like planting a seed in the mind of the public, getting the CD. Exactly. From a point of view, was it better to sell during your shows than in stores? It was not better. It was complementary. To me, it was like, hey, you can get it in the store or you can get it in the show. Or maybe you can get it for free if you come to the show. In anyhow you're paying something. Because I'm gonna incorporate the price of the CD inside of the ticket. So also, did you sell other merchandise? Yeah. Hoodies, t-shirts. Brilliant ideas. The label weren't going to approve this at all. I'm telling you. Can this idea work in some African countries today, since they still deal with CDs? I don't know, because in the countries of today, most people are in the countries today in Africa, most people are starting to use USB keys in cars. So but it's still a great idea that can be implemented. But CD lost the game. Now it's the streaming business. So, but it really depends of the country. It could. For foreign country, that's a great way to give the occasion to people to listen. I mean, back then, because now everybody's on YouTube today. But it's true that at that time, yeah, people used to learn your songs in the clubs, or maybe get a burned CD. Like, I've been in every country in Africa, but I never had a CD officially, nowhere. So imagine all the money that I lost from 1 billion people. And I was like, yo, listen, if all these people can have a CD, yo, I even thought in my head, what about putting, let's say you do I don't have something that I can say. Okay. Imagine a box like this. Now that's too big. Let's say a box of this size, right? Imagine in a box like this, you put a pen drive like this, right? You put a pen drive like this, and inside of the pen drive, you put the album plus your 5 videos. Your album, all your songs. Let's say you put one album plus 5 music videos plus a message for the person watching, and on the pen drive maybe you can write something. You can engrave Kaysha. All right. Imagine you do that, and that's one thing you put in the box. Plus, you put a T-shirt in there. T-shirt in the box. Now imagine that for every person that comes to the show, they get a box. In the box, they have 1 pen drive plus 1 CD. You can have companies in China build for you the box. Maybe it can be a white box or a black box, and inside they will do the pen drive plus the T-shirt and the whole thing. They can do it for $2. Now imagine you have you buy 1,000 of those for $2 each. Gonna cost you $2,000. Imagine if you make 1,000 per show. So you're gonna pay the whole your whole stock of those boxes. You're gonna pay them for 2 shows. $1,000 first show, another $1,000 second show. Boom. In this week you did 2 shows. You pay for your 1,000 boxes. Now you have 1,000 boxes. If you are in the long game in terms of branding, you can go in every show, and every show you do, let's say you do small shows, 200 people in your shows. Every time you do a show, you can tell the people, hey, I'm offering 20 boxes, 30 boxes, or maybe I'm offering everybody 1 box, and in every box you give them 1 CD plus a T-shirt. Imagine what it is doing to the mind of the people, especially that after that they go to their computers, they put your pen drive, and boom, they now have access to your latest music videos, plus they can listen to your music. And maybe you can put in the thing a thing that links to your website, your shop, to the rest of your music, whatever. But in places where people have less access to the internet, so it's becoming less and less relevant. But back in the days, I'm talking 15 years ago, there was some genius moves. And listen, every time I would talk to people, they would be like, I don't know, blah blah blah. So, at a point, CDs became less and less relevant, and I went to the next operation. My next idea was, why don't we, instead of having people selling our shows and giving us a percentage? Because listen, when somebody sells your show, when somebody buys your show to the person that sells your show, it's all a question of percentage. Percentage, why? The person who sells your show, Olivier Dumou, that we just talked to earlier, used to sell a lot of my shows. When he would sell a show, he would get a percentage from the sale. So let's say he sell my show at 1,005. I get 1,000. The manager get 300, 350. He gets 150. It's all a game like this. And the people who buy your show, the clubs, they're gonna accept to pay 1,005 plus pay your ticket and pay your hotel. And in exchange, they hope that you will bring people to the club. So that's an exchange of, you bring me people, you give visibility to my club, you do a flyer, etc. You send us photos to the flyer, you do a video thing, you talk about it on your Instagram. In exchange, we come. People come to my club. If it costs me 2,000 to make you come here, if I sell a bottle for 200, I just need to sell 10 bottles to pay your show. So if I have my few table of people who come, I have a few frappeurs that come, they all get like 3 bottles each. I have 10 tables like this with 3 bottles, 30 bottles, boom, I'm good. Now, if I sell the tickets to come to your show at $10, or 10 euros or whatever, I sell your ticket at $10, and you have 500 people coming to see you. That's $5,000. From these $5,000, I have to remove your cachet. That's $2,000. I have to remove how much it cost me to make you come. That's another, let's say 500. Plane tickets, whatever. Let's say 1,000. So that's 3,000. I still have 2,000. Sorry. From those 2,000, I have to pay security. I have to pay the DJ. I have to pay whatever. Maybe I get a benefit of 1,005. But on top of the 500 people, all these people will come and go to the bar and get some drinks. So let's say I sell $2,000 of $10 drinks or $5 drinks from those 500 people. Let's say I make 2,000 in the bar, and let's say I sell 10 bottles. So that's an extra 2,000. Or 20 bottles, that's 4,000. Whatever, it depends on your business of your club. But the point is, I'll make you come because I want to attract people on your name, right? And to attract people on your name, I'm going to pay you the price you ask me. So if your name is Maître Gims, I'm going to pay you 100,000, if not more, because I know you're going to attract 20, 30, 50,000 people that are ready to pay $10. I'm going to make 500,000. I can pay you 100,000. That's how the game works. And this is why I always tell artists, whatever you think you're worth emotionally in your head, it doesn't matter, because what matters is how much people you're going to bring. And if you want to make money, you got to ask yourself, hey, listen, if 50 people are coming to every time I go perform, I only get 50 people and they pay 10, it means I'm generating 500. So if I'm only generating 500, nobody's going to pay me 1,000. This is just market, offer, demand, etc. But then I sat down with my manager and I was like, there must be another way for us artists to make money. There must be another way for us artists to make money. Nowadays QR codes is exactly. I was almost thinking of proposing an e-radio for artists. Yeah. I mean, listen, everybody has YouTube now. Have people go around the city to get people to scan the QR code with their smartphone, which will be taking them straight to your music. Is a great way for you to views. I would even not even go around. I would just give flyers to everybody. You print like 10,000 flyers, and you put some things on the walls with a QR code, and people just scan and boom, they in Spotify or wherever you put your music. That's a way to do it. You can also use social media to do it. There's a lot of ways. But as I was telling you, I sat down with my manager at that time and I told her, Ghislaine, listen, I'm really thinking that we should start, instead of getting paid. So let's say, listen, I give you the breakdown, right? Let's say you have a club that is willing to pay you 1,000 because they know that you're going to bring at least 200 people. But they're still taking a risk, because if you only bring 100 people or 50 people, they don't make money, right? But let's say your price is 1,000, but you bring 5,000 people. Now you're getting screwed in a way. I mean, you're not getting screwed because you asked for 1,000. They're giving you your 1,000. They get 5,000 entries at $10. They make $50K, and all they have to pay you is 1,000. Yeah, here's your money. So the number of people fluctuate depending of the size of the club, depending of the size of the market, depending of the city, depending of a lot of things. And me, I was asking people. I was like, wait a minute. So it means that if we get 1,000, 10,000 people or 100,000 people for some place, we still get paid the same price. And a lot of artists, because they don't want to risk, they don't want to invest, they just want to get paid. They just want to take their little 5,500 or 1,000 or 2,000, and that's it. They don't really care how much people are coming, how much it costs to the club, or how much how much they generate for the club. They're just like, hey, listen, let me get listen. If I take 1,000 per show, and I'm hot right now, and I make four shows a week, it's 4,000 in a month. It means I make 16K. I don't care. But how long are you going to be hot? This is the question. How long? Like, can you do a hit every month? Can you do a hit every 6 months? How long are you going to have a hit? How long until people are just like, yeah, we love you, but yeah, we still are your fans, but we're not excited anymore about going to see you in a club. I mean, because I came to your last 10 shows. I've seen you already. Like, because you are only new one time for somebody. So unless you can always come to a new market your whole life, there's a point. Yeah, listen, if I go do shows in China today, I'm going to be new. But if I do a show in Portugal, if I do a show in Congo, if I do a show in Ivory Coast, if I do a show in France, if I do a show in anywhere, in Lille, I'm not new for nobody. I've been performing listen, I was 22 when I started performing. I'm 48. I'm not new to nobody. Unless, yeah, there's a new generation of people that are discovering listen, my story is different because my songs, they're just everlasting stuff. But for a normal person, listen, you might only have one hit in your life, and you might only have a 3-year run where it's really banging. So you're going to get that money for 3 years, and at a point, this money is going to stop coming in. And then you're going to be depressed because you're going to be like, oh, people don't love me anymore. No, it's just that the market will move on from you. So at a point, I was saying to myself, there must be a better way. So I remember saying to myself, you know what? Instead of getting money to perform, I'm gonna start investing in my own shows. So that was probably 6 years ago. I sat down with, so was it 6 years? Yeah, I think it was 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. I sat down with Sean Wilson, who is a promoter that is very serious, that works in UK. I invited him at the Sky Bar, not far from me, at the Hotel Tivoli in my neighborhood. So we go in the Sky Bar and I tell him, hey, listen, how much does it cost to organize a party? That was my first question I asked him. And he was like, what you mean? I said, no, how much does it cost if I want to do my own party? And he was like, well, it depends if it's a big party, it's a small party. But no, listen, small party. How much does it cost to, let's say, 300 people, 300, 400 people? How much does it cost? And he told me, okay, in terms of the club, so you have to rent a club, or you can do a deal with a club where you do 50-50 with them on the door, or you can have you can have friends that already have clubs that will share with you. I was like, okay, how many clubs do you know that where you do parties? He told me, I got people in Manchester, Leeds, Sheffield, I think. I'm not sure the names. And then another one. I said, okay, how much would it cost to organize a tour of Kaysha in the UK? So he was like, we have to pay for, so he told me, clubs, I have friends that have clubs. So, or friends that are already doing their own parties in clubs. So we can do 50-50 with them. I said, okay, what if instead of them paying me a cachet to come, they would just, I would invest the money, and I'm paying the cachet of the artist, since I'm the artist. So I'm paying myself. So I'm not spending no money. It's just like when I sponsor myself, it doesn't cost me money, but it's free publicity for shada wear. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, okay, what if I'm gonna pay for my plane tickets? So how much does it cost to go from Lisbon to London, or Lisbon to Manchester? It was like, listen, if we do the tour in 4 months, you can book the tickets now for $60, $80. I was like, okay. So if I book the tickets now, once I'm in, so travel, come and go is gonna cost me, let's say 100. Then maybe let's add another 100 for trains between the cities. Now let's add 4 hotel rooms of a good quality. Let's say it's gonna be like 80 per room, so 100, 320. So that's 500 investment. Now we have to pay for the security, let's say another 500 for a group of 5 security, then a DJ, maybe the club is paying for the DJ. Okay, the club is paying for the DJ, and so we divide the expenses. Let's say to make Kaysha come somewhere, it costs, if you remove the cachet, let's say it costs 1,000 to organize a party, a good party, pay for the flyers, pay for this, pay for that. Okay, I tell them, okay, I'm gonna spend 50% of that money. With the money I'm making from streaming revenue, I'm gonna give you 500 to organize a party for me. Plus, you organize 4 of them. So we're gonna have the same team of security travel with us in 4 different places. So instead of paying them like 4 different times, we're gonna buy a pack for 4 days. And same thing for the DJ. We're gonna get a DJ plus the resident DJ. We're gonna pay him for 4 CDs. And we're gonna have a tour. We're gonna organize a tour, and it's gonna cost us maybe 2,000 in total. I'm gonna pay 1,000, and all these clubs are gonna pay the other 1,000 divided by 4 because it's 4 clubs. So that's 250 each. And then because it's gonna cost them literally nothing to have me, they're gonna give me 50% of every ticket. And so in total, we had 2,000 people. We did a tour. So first of all, flyers. You guys don't forget something. I'm a graphist myself. I know how to graphic design. So I made my flyers myself going to a site called Elements. So if you search flyers, graphic templates, there you go. So if you go, you look for flyers, right? Let's say you can take a, let me see a good flyer. You can take a flyer like this one, right? You can take a flyer like this one and you replace fashion show by Kaysha, name of the place, and you put your photo here. You remove this photo and you put your photo here. Takes you 10 minutes. So you download 4 of these things in this website and you turn these into your own flyers. And that's exactly what I did. So I said, listen, graphic design is gonna cost us 0 because I'm gonna do all 4 flyers for the whole tour. Promotion, I'm gonna use my own Instagram, Facebook, etc., to promote. And everybody's gonna come. I mean, we'll see if people come, but we're gonna do these 4 CDs. And in total, it cost me 500 of investment. And I traveled for, I don't know, 4 days. And when I came back, I think I had 6,000. So let's say I performed at 1,000 and I did those 4 shows in small clubs. They probably would have asked me to sing at 800 because they were small clubs. So I would have made 1,800 per show. That's 1,006. 1,006. That's 3,000 and something. But I came back from that tour with 6,000. 6,000 just because I invested in my own thing. And it was not really a money thing. What was important for me was the fact that for the first time I took control of my destiny, took control of performing, because the problem of performing is you are the prey of the people who decide if you're going to perform or not. The people, yeah, if they say, oh, he's old. Or, hey, listen, if the people who used to call you to perform, they retire from the thing, they got replaced by young cats, young promoters, maybe the music they listen to is the people that are younger than you. So they're not interested in booking you. Or maybe whoever has a problem with you because of whatever. So they're not going to book you. If you book yourself, you can do your own planning, you can organize, and you can invest on your own thing. Yeah, if it doesn't work, you lose your money. But when it works, you can make way more money than if you were performing. And imagine, I'm just talking about the door. You can book a place and tell the people, hey, I'm going to book my own barmaids. I'm also going to buy my own drinks. And I'm going to invest in the whole thing. Or maybe you can tell the club that you're going to invest in bottles, whatever. And maybe now you get not only the tickets, but you also get the bar. And the bar is where the money is made. Let's say that in your show that you do, you make, let's say 1,000 people come in at 10. So that's 10,000 plus, listen, let's say you sell 20 bottles at 300 or 150. I don't know how much is a bottle. I never bought one. I bought bottles, but I'm usually get offered. But let's say it's 150 per bottles, and you sell 20 of them. That's an extra 3,000. So you can make a ton of money when you invest in yourself. And interestingly, what I realized from that experience, because after that I with Sean, we got invited in the Kizomba festival as well, and we told them, hey, how much does it cost to do the festivals? No, how much is your cachet? I said, forget my cachet. How much does it cost to do the festival? And they were like, oh, it's gonna cost us that much. I was like, okay, I want to invest in the festival. I want to invest in your festival. So I invested 3,000 in the festival. I probably got 7,000 or 8,000 back. Imagine some people, they put 5,000 in stock or crypto, and everything goes down. Your 5,000 turn into zero, and you have to, or turn into 1,000, and you have to wait patiently for the market to go back up so that you can sell maybe at 5,000 back or 6,000. Sometimes it's going to take you a lot of money to turn those 3,000 into 6,000 just to do a 2x, right? Now imagine me investing money. I put the money, and by the time that I get paid, I already made that money back from streaming. And now imagine that I invest 3,000 in a place, and the other artists that are here performing with me have no idea that I'm the one hiring them, but we're on stage together singing. That's a beautiful feeling. And you 3x your money. After 3 weeks, when the festival is done, we do the accounting. We had that much people, we made that much money. Kaysha, here's your share. Boom, 9,000 sent to your Revolut. Hey, and this to me is where a lot of artists are not thinking and are not trying to evolve, because they're just scared to get more than the little percentage that they own. They think people owe them. But actually, I believe that today, especially in a world where there's so many artists, so many people trying to perform, trying to exist, trying to stream, etc., if you could have, instead of having even 5,000 people, 1,000 people in a place, if you can do your own party with 100 people, and these 100 people are willing to give you 10 per person, plus buy their drinks, listen, you can make 2,000 just by yourself. And you can even rent a small place. Sometimes I look at places, I'm just too busy, but sometimes I look at places. There's a place not far from my house. I think it takes 200 people. And sometimes I look at it and I'm like, yo, listen. I tell Buddy Sadva, I say, bro, we could organize a party here. And listen, you DJ, you bring maybe one person, and I perform. And we have some people just run the party for us, and maybe just to rent this place, it doesn't cost us the money we think. Maybe it's just gonna cost us 1,000. Maybe it's gonna cost us less than that, or maybe they will ask 50-50. I don't know. But instead of waiting for people to book us, what if we book ourselves? What if we book ourselves like every week, and we become resident of our own party? And then as it grows, as the people come, they like the quality, etc., as the concept grows, then we can take it to bigger places, or we can take it to other countries. We want to do this in Congo, let's call a club. My dad is building a building right now with the owner of a place in Kinshasa called K Club, I think. Dad, can I talk to your partner? Sure. Hey, I'm the son of your partner. Hey, Kaysha, you're famous. Yeah, I want to do a party in your place. Oh, yeah? Yes. Here's the deal. I'm gonna come by myself, I'm gonna pay for all my stuff, but I want 50-50 on the bottles, 50-50 on the entries, etc., and I'll sing some songs. And I'll bring my own DJ, and he's famous too. You go there, maybe it's gonna cost you a lot of money to arrive to Africa, but once you're there, maybe you can do this in 2, 3, 4 different cities. And if maybe you come back with your pockets full because you invested in yourself. And I believe the big problems of people today, they have no idea what investing in themselves means. You see what I mean? People have no idea of what investing in yourself means. They believe that investing in themselves is just taking the time or etc. No, investing in yourself sometimes is being willing to not make money on the short run to be able to make money on the long run forever. It's the same thing as this show that you are watching. This show is not making the amount of money that the time that it takes. It's not a time, like it doesn't take time to set up, but I've been talking for 2 hours. This is time that I could be sleeping or working on something else. But we are at episode 221. That's a minimum of 2,000 hours that are here on YouTube, and they're gonna stay there. Meaning that maybe at episode 500, this whole channel will generate $7,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 per month, just because of the amount of content that's gonna be there. And you know me, I'm gonna take this episode, I'm gonna cut them in small parts and use those parts and put them on YouTube. And maybe one day I'll just get a team to cut those parts and turn them into horizontal videos and put them in reels, put them in TikToks, put them everywhere you have to put them, and then generate money from that because of the brand power. And all of a sudden, you're gonna have millions of eyes seeing this logo that it cost me nothing to put there. But all these people, they're gonna be, oh, I like his sweatshirt. They click here, boom. One person buys for let's say $10,000, $100. Boom, synergies. You see what I mean? Or the people hey. Thank you so much, Sirène des Îles. Thank you so much for passing by and always supporting. Our stream royalty is here. Everybody put some unicorns in the chat for Sirène des Îles. Thank you so much. I know you're busy these days, but thank you for always coming back. So you see, a lot of times when I talk to artists and I give them those ideas, they look at me like, oh, it's complicating my life. And instead of taking 500 that they earn from one show, let's say you do 10 shows and you sell your show at 500, you made 5,000. You can take 500, use those 500 to invest in a show, a party. You don't have to do it for all your shows. From time to time, you're gonna tell a promoter, I want to invest on this one, and boom, you invest. And then you go to a place. Let's say you get like 600 people, and you had 50% at the door, and now you get 50% of 6,000. That's 3,000. Boom! You turn your 500 into 3,000. You add them with the rest. That's 7.5. You can go on holiday. You see what I mean? But most people, when you're gonna tell them, hey, you could invest 500, they're gonna look at you like, why would I invest? They're supposed to pay me for me to perform. I'm like, no, they're not supposed to. It's just a certain type of business based on everybody exploiting us. But what if, as artists, we were just investing in each other? And people are too scared to invest in other artists because they don't want an artist to be in front of them. They're like, nah, I wouldn't invest in you. And me, I'm like, you guys don't make no sense. Imagine if all the kizomba artists owned one YouTube channel. And in that one YouTube channel, you had everything from Kaysha to Nelson Freitas to George to Siquat Pedro to this to that to da. Imagine if you had one YouTube channel with all of us and we all own the channel. And everybody can put whatever they want in the channel. And Club Shada would be part of that channel and whatever. And the shows of everybody would be in that channel. And we would have a CEO that runs the channel. And that channel, instead of generating 3,000 like this one every month, would probably be generating, I don't know, 50,000. Just because of the number of videos that would be there. Now, if we generate 50,000 every month, and it belongs to all of us as a consortium, we can now say, hey, whenever one of us release an album, the channel will invest in us, I don't know, 20,000 to shoot 5 videos for this new album. Plus this, plus that. And we're going to invest in, hey, X is doing a show. We're going to use that money that we are generating. I'm talking about 500,000 being generated every month, every week, every year, sorry. We're going to get some of that money to organize our own festival. It's going to cost us 100,000 to do the best show ever and to all get paid by ourselves and to even invite some young cats that we're going to pay. It's going to cost us 100,000 that comes from our big YouTube channel, and maybe our festival is gonna generate, I don't know, 10,000 sales, and it's gonna bring 200,000. And it's 10 of us, the 10 biggest artists. We're gonna divide the 200,000 that it brought us into 20,000 each, and boom. And then we're gonna use all that money to bring some more content that will go to our channel. But sadly, everybody is an individualist, and everybody, they love my ideas because those ideas is something I told to the 10 best artists of this space. I told them we should do this. I told them this in 2009, I think, in 2008. And you know what everybody told me? I don't want to work with this, or me, I don't like that guy. I was like, I don't care who you like. It's about vision for the future. It's about, if we had a channel that was generating 50,000, we could go talk to the clubs and say, hey, we, all 10 of us, we don't accept no cachet from nobody. When we sing somewhere, we want 50% of the door because we invest in the party. Or you know what? We renting your whole club. We renting your club. We paying on that night where we perform. We rent the whole club. We pay for everything. And then we have our channel paying. So every show we do, instead of generating a cachet of 2,000, 3,000, whatever your price is, you get like, I don't know, 15,000 from one night. And you put that money back inside of a consortium. And of course, at the end of every year, we see how much money we paid, we invested in different projects, and how much money came in. Let's say we generated 500,000 and we invested 300. There's 200,000 left, and of top of benefit, we did maybe 300,000. So that's 500,000 divided in all of us. That's 50,000 for this year for everybody, on top of your shows, your this, your that. Plus your sales. So when you do an album, you have like the fans of everybody in the channel. So instead of having like 200,000 subscribers like this channel soon, you might have 2 million subscribers. And when you put your song, it's on top of 2 million people. When I used to tell them this, everybody was there. I don't know. And then you know who did it? Bruno, that from Club Shada, Bruno Musica, who created this channel, Mais Kizomba, white guy who just loved music. He created his channel, Mais Kizomba, where he put all the videos for everybody. His channel now has 1 million subscribers and he's generating this money. And then you know who came to cry to me, tell me, oh, white people are stealing our music, they're using us, they're exploiting us. Those same motherfuckers that gave the idea 10 years before, they came to cry to me after. And you know what I did? I defended Bruno. He can tell you, I mean, it's not here, it's slipping, but he will put a comment when he sees this. Bruno was like, oh, hey, I just love music, so, you know, I did a channel and it exploded. It became the biggest Kizomba channel ever. And imagine if you took Kaysha, Nelson Freitas, Siquat Pero, George, Thor, Mika Mendes, Looney Johnson, Elisio, Marcia, whoever of that generation, that's Kizomba people. Now you take another, now you take the Zouk people. You take Nikos, Princess Lover, AC Jordan, Marvin, Jean-Michel Rotin, Kassav, Fanny G, Ali Angel, who else? Face à Face, Ludo. That's 20 people. You put all of them in one channel and now you have one vision for everybody. Listen, whenever one put a video out, you have 1 million people ready to watch. Whenever you do a show, boom, you put it there. Whenever you do an interview, boom, you put it there. Can you imagine? People have such a short-term vision and a short-term memory that to me, I'm like, wow. And you know what I ended up doing? I ended up doing all these things for myself. But I used to do them, I wanted to do them in a huge way because I wanted everybody to benefit. And I ended up doing everything on a shorter scale and I benefit. I sometimes I'm bored or I feel like, hey, I haven't been in X CD for a long time. And instead of getting paid to do it, I'm going to say, hey, how much it cost me to go there. I'm going to call the promoter and say, hey, I'm coming to Brazil. I'm going to show them my ticket. I'm going to show them I'm already paid my hotel thing. And I'm going to tell them, hey, listen, we can do it two ways. Either you pay me X per show and we try to do 4 or 5 CDs here. And this pays my holiday, reimburse whatever I paid plus X. Or if I really want to have fun, I'm just going to be like, hey, listen, I really want to do a tour. I'm on business mode. Let's organize 3-4 parties in 3-4 different big cities in Brazil. And I want 50% of the revenue. As you wish, I propose those things. And a lot of promoters, what scares them a lot of times is just to make you come from far away for nothing. But if you tell them, hey, I'm going to be there already, I'm going to be there anyway. So like I remember 10 years ago, I went with my ex to Brazil, and 3 months before coming, I just sent a message to Felipe Mija, who's a promoter in São Paulo, in Brazil, plus another friend of mine, Israel Zerman, who's in Brasilia. And I told them, hey guys, I'm going to be in Brazil for 10 days and I'm going to be with my girlfriend. So here's my ticket. Here's my yeah, I'm gonna be there. I already paid my ticket. Here's the reservation from my hotel. If anybody wants me to, so I think to go there it cost us 2,000 plane tickets plus hotel, 10 days of a hotel. It cost us 3,000, I think. And I told everybody, hey, listen, since I'm gonna be there and I'm just gonna be on a holiday and I'm gonna have nothing to do, you know what? I'm gonna charge 1,000 per show. And you guys are gonna organize show. I know you guys have clubs, so let's organize in your club, Philip, and let's organize in your club, the Israel, and find me 2 other guys. And those guys, let's charge them 1,005. You take 500 because you book for me, and I take 1,000. and maybe if we can do another a fifth one, there you go. In the end, it cost me 3,000 to go to Brazil. I did 6,000 of shows. We traveled. They booked the hotels and the planes in the different places, so we were having fun traveling, and I made around 6,000 or 7,000. I don't remember. But not only I paid my hotel, I paid our 2 tickets, and then we had 4,000 to do some shopping and chill because we were on holidays. It was not a money thing. It was a, hey, listen, let me go on a holiday for free and come back with more money. I actually came back from there with an extra 2,000 in my pockets. I was like, yo, that was amazing. Paid 2 months of rent. Those things are things that you can do when you think outside of the box and you think far, far, far away from the box. The problem to me is that most people you talk to in this business are the inside of the box, way off. They're inside in the middle of the box exactly. They're like, oh no, what, you want to go outside the box? Are you crazy? I'm like, that's where the money is, guys. Listen, it is what it is. Listen, if you enjoyed that show, just give me some fire in the chat if that conversation was interesting to you. Let me read your comment and check out from here because I have to edit some videos. And listen, don't forget to go to the channel. There's some new vlogs. I want to see your comments in there on the last 2 vlogs I put in the channel. And yeah, let's see what you said. A long-term vision is the key to think like you do. I do agree, cousin. Seems like you're always thinking outside of the box. I be honest, that is true. That is true. Your mind is something else, Kaysha. Thank you, Emmanuel. That is true. Bro, you think like Jewish people, always about the long run. Yeah, you have to. This is how you survive in this world. Shirin Desil, thank you so much. Thank you. I like when Rosa is here. Long time. You see, you didn't fall asleep. King K, the man from the future, always understand and see things from another perspective. You are too difficult to be understood by low spiritual humans. Blessing. You know what? Listen, I fully agree with that. And this is what caused me a lot of frustration until I understood. But the thing is when you're humble, you don't want to see yourself as better than others. But at a point, you have to accept that. You have to accept that you might be different and you might see things that they don't see. Like you might have like that X-ray vision when you see way further than the walls. And a lot of people, they just see inside of the walls. Oh, listen, they do. Damn, that would be fire. Plus people, for example, who know Kaysha but not secret people can discover that. Listen, this is the point of this whole channel. Look, let me show you this channel. You know, when I started my channel, I could have done so this is my channel, right? When I started this channel, I could have done different channels for different artists that were signed on my label. But because I was the bigger artist, what I did, I created, so let me go on the playlist called Sushiro Music. In music videos, right? Not only I have my videos with body, but look, I put videos from guys like Kadu, who's somebody that I produce some of his songs. I put the videos from G Spark, for example, that is somebody that I produce some of his tracks. I put videos from, of course, my videos, but I also use that channel to put, for example, videos for AC Jordan, for example. You see what I mean? I decided to use my channel to push smaller artists and use Sumia. You see what I mean? 1 million views here. I use my channel for everybody. Look at this. Taina Malsantois, 3.5 million views. You see what I mean? I and more. Mika Mendes, Dimension. Everything that had to do with me, I put them in one channel for which was the Sushi Raw Kaysha channel. And everybody benefited from my power back then. That's what I did as a content owner and business owner. I was not like, oh, you guys go build your brands. I was like, nah, let's build each other's brand together. And whenever I sign somebody, they're gonna bring their fans to all of us, and then we synergize everything together. The only problem is, for this, you must have people who think like you. And if you want to bring it to something bigger, you're gonna also have to understand that you're gonna have all the egos. And that's exactly what happened. I had all the egos from the Nicoles, the everybody, the whatever. Like, and this is how it is. Like, you know, like you understand that not everybody is on your level of perception. Just perception. It's not a question of being better than people. It's just perception. Not everybody has that level of perception. So some people will be interested in, I want to be number one. Like when you talk to a Siquat Pedro or Nicoles, they want to be number one. That's all they care. And you're like, yeah, but you know, what about it? And it's not something that you can. It's not something that is bad. It's just something that contradicts your vision of what we got to do. So they're gonna be thinking of being number one more importantly than doing something and working together, and they're gonna see other people as competition. So they're gonna be like, why would I side with the competition? When in reality, if you side with competition in a market where everybody's against you, when television is still against us in those countries where they don't want to play our stuff before the news, they're gonna play their stuff. They're gonna put us somewhere at night, or they're gonna, this is like the African show. No, I'm European. I have a French passport. My music should play the same way as everything else. But nah, they're not gonna play it as everything else. So we have to kick in the door ourselves when we have the vision. And to me, if we kick with 20 feet, the door's gonna break faster and it's gonna explode, and we're gonna run faster, and we're gonna spread ourselves in the market faster. But you realize, because you have to deal with the lack of vision from everybody, that in reality, you're gonna have to do all this by yourself. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And that's exactly what I've been doing all this time. I was like, you know what? Let me do it and let me show them. And they will understand. They will understand maybe one day, and maybe they'll come back, try to do it. Or maybe I'm gonna do it, or I'm gonna put it in these videos, and maybe the kids are gonna do it. Because I don't need to do it anymore. I'll make my money. Don't worry for me. But a lot of the people that are proposed to do those things 10, 20 years ago, right now, they're all calling me to cry because, I don't have shows, I don't have money, I don't have education, I don't have nothing else than music, and music doesn't bring money anymore. So I'm forced to sing in places where they pay me $400 to sing in a restaurant, and while I'm singing, people are busy eating, so they don't even care about me. And I feel like, damn, I used to be a superstar. And I'm like, I used to be a superstar as well. But to me, it was never the goal. The goal was the vision. The goal is what you do after. You use stardom to push somewhere else. Those people, they are pushing to become stars. Listen, I never cared about fame. Listen, I love walking in my neighborhood, and I know some people know me, but I love the fact that nobody knows me in my neighborhood. Yeah, if I go to Amadora or places like where there's a lot of Cap Verdeans, or place where there's a lot of people from Guinea, Mozambique, Angola, everybody's gonna recognize me. This is why I live where I live, where people don't recognize me, so I can look like shit when I go buy bread. It's also great to just enjoy a little bit of non-fame, right? But to me, it's not that I don't like fame. It's just that fame is not the goal. It's a byproduct of the moves you make. But for a lot of these guys, fame was the goal. Fame is the drug. I don't do drugs.